Hey everybody, welcome to the Libra season pick a card reading. And this of course is going to be from September 22nd to October 22nd this year. It can vary by year to year. So that's what we're going to be focusing in on, and you're going to have a choice of 3 different cards to choose from. You of course have the Libra card as option number 1. You've got the Venus card, which is option number 2. And then you also have the air element, which would be option number 3, because of course Libra is ruled by Venus and is an air sign. And then for all you Libra Sun babies, happy birthday to you. And there's a special reading as well. I will start with the Libra Sun pick a card reading, but timestamps for Venus and air and the special birthday reading will be in the description box below if you want to click on that timestamp and jump there. And of course you can choose as many of these as you want. These beautiful cards, by the way, are from this beautiful deck here, if anyone was wanting to know that. That way, if you are interested in those, you can check those out. All right, but we're going to go ahead and jump into the first reading for Libra Sun right now. All right, if you chose reading number 1, which was the Libra card, then this is the reading for you. And what's beautiful about this, the Libra Sun energy, what it brings in for this reading is they are like the solvers. So the energy that comes into this reading is this power to identify and solve your challenges. They're kind of known as problem solvers, right? But a key phrase, of course, for Libra is also I balance, which has an underlying motivation of fairness and justice and everyone getting along. So what we're going to be asking and kind of focusing in on for this reading is, what would the Creator like you to know about balance and identifying / solving your challenges in your life? What do they want you to know about that area of your life? And we're going to start off by pulling a card here from the Soul's Journey cards and just see what overall the Creator wants you to know just for this Libra season month. If you chose the Libra Sun card, what does the Creator want you to know about balance, identifying and solving any challenges? What does the Creator want you to know? Okay. There we go. So you've got forgiveness. So I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. So yeah, I know we all hate this word, don't we? It's up there like right next to patience. But, this is a beautiful card for us too, because, with the balancing life and with identifying and, what problems, a big piece of this, of course, with our life is forgiveness. And forgiveness isn't about, just letting someone off the hook, or it's not about forgetting what happened in our life or what situation we're in, because we're intelligent beings. Libra, one of the options is air sign, and air signs are very intelligent, remember things. So you will never forget, what has happened. But forgiveness is letting the wrath go of the situation, because holding on to grudges, holding on to resentments and the pain that we experienced from a situation is like drinking poison and thinking that it's going to impact other people, right? Holding resentments only impacts us. It brings dis-ease into our bodies, right? And so as that's bubbling and growing, ulcers in our bodies in fight or flight, and it just impacts our physical body, our emotional body, our mental body, even our spiritual body, the energies that it has, how it impacts our spiritual bodies. It just more, like it mentions, it's like it blocks the flow of love. It blocks the flow of that love energy. So when we look at letting the wrath go, when we look at releasing the other person from the punishment and all of that. It's a beautiful transformation that happens within us, and it allows things to unfold. And we'll talk about, I'm sure the cards that will come up will deal with, how we go about forgiving. But let me read from the book here too to see what other guidance comes through the card here. It says, you can never flow with your natural energy of love unless you release the negative energy of hate, anger, intolerance, or blame. Every soul in your path has free will, and you have no control over that. What you do have control over is how you react to the manifestation of others' free will. Holding on to that negative energy will strengthen karmic cycles, and forgiveness can break that pattern. The most important person you must learn to forgive is always yourself. Blaming yourself for failures blocks the natural flow of love, which will attract all good things into your life. Yeah, so I love that. Of course, one of the souls or the characters we're most hard on in our life is us, right? Our own selves. So definitely forgiving yourself or releasing yourself from your own wrath. I love that. And then mentioning that what you do have control over, you don't have a whole lot of control of the outside things that happen, right? And we realize that as we go through life, there's just not a whole lot outside of us we're in control of, but it doesn't matter because we are in control of what story we put around what happens. We're the ones that control what emotions we feel about the situations. And so you have this beautiful empowerment that comes when you realize that, you know what? I am the one that decides what everything in the world means for me and no one else. Yeah, we have all these opinions, all these popular opinions of what things should mean and how you should feel, but that doesn't mean you have to take it on as your own. So I love that. All right. We're also going to pull some cards here from these Tarot of Dreams. These new cards. I'm just going to see what else the Creator wants you to know about this forgiveness and how that can bring you balance, and this is identifying the issue. It's blocking your love flow, blocking this your feelings of worth, right? Because it all comes down to our worth always. All right, Creator, what do you want those that chose this reading number 1 to know about this forgiveness or balance? What else about balance and identifying? Okay, there's one there, and I feel like this one here too. What else? Okay, and these two here. Excuse me. All right. So you've got death. Yes, death and rebirth. So this isn't a bad card here. This is definitely about what we're ready to let go of and what we're ready to birth. And this definitely is so fitting for this because these blocks that you have, the pain that we felt, and they're telling me this, I'm trying to put it into human words because I'm feeling this emotion of, all this pain that we experienced in the past. When you realize that we're the ones that put the story of feeling and pain in a situation, that helps you put an end to this. It's almost like one of the brilliant, beautiful lessons we learn about forgiveness is that there was nothing to forgive. And I know you're like, what? When we can step back, take a deep breath, connect to a higher love, an unconditional love from the other side, from the Creator, and we can just sit in that, knowing that we are always unconditionally loved by the Mother and Father of all things, the Creator. When you go back to look at an event and a situation in our lives, we see that the person, that their actions were not personal. And I know, again, what? When you're able to, unemotionally, not in fight or flight, reactionary mode, go back and look at a situation, you can step into the other person in a way, and you can understand that if their actions were not of unconditional love, then they were of fear of losing love. And it shows its face in so many ways. Our fears reflect in so many ways. It could be, someone acting sad and trying to manipulate, to get things their way so they feel in control, so they feel loved. Or they could be bullying and being aggressive and being, even abusive to try to get you to be scared into doing what they want so they feel in control, so they don't fear losing love. Or they could be just frozen. They could just be distant. They could be coming across as uncaring, but they're shut down and they're protecting themselves. When we realize that we may not know how they were really feeling, we may not know ever how their childhoods and their whole lives have been to make them trigger and react in this way. It's like swimming out to someone who's drowning. And you're going, okay, I'm coming out to save you. And then they're like, and they grab onto you and pull you under the water with them. And you're like, oh my God, they're trying to kill me. If that's the story you put, it's like, oh my God, they were trying to kill me. Or you're swimming up to them and they're just panicking and they hit you, right? And they're just like, and they're panicking, right? Then you can look at, oh my God, look at what they did to me. When we step back from the situation after it happened, we're like, oh my God, they were in panic mode. They were scared. And so it wasn't personal. They were like in fight or flight mode. They were literally out of their minds, which is what we all do as humans when we're in fight or flight mode. The blood rushes from our brain to help us either use our muscles to fight or use our muscles to escape, or we freeze, which is another way of escaping. We're like, I'm gone. It's like, I'm no longer there. I've left my body because my body is just standing still. So all those things, when you go back and look at it and understand, oh, okay, if it wasn't of love, then it was a fear of losing love. And then you understand that they were literally out of their minds. And you probably are like, yes, they were. But you realize that it wasn't personal. And then you can change that story around you. And then that's where that forgiveness comes easier. And that's like, okay, well, there really was nothing to forgive because, all these expectations and all the story I was putting on it, that all came from me. And if someone doesn't live up to my expectations, is that my fault or theirs? If someone puts this expectation on you of every day you're supposed to give me $1,000 and you're like, hell no, it's like, well, you're disappointing them. Is that your fault or their fault for putting that expectation on you? And you start to question and you start to understand these things that you can put an end to. And it is this beautiful death and rebirth that happens, because when you start to see things from this whole new perspective, from this place of love, this place, you have this compassion, you have this understanding, and doesn't mean you have to go become best friends with, whatever situation, that whatever people or whatever were involved in it. But you can release that within you. And if you feel it'll help you by talking it out and giving that person love, not going in and rehashing it and blaming and all that, because that just ends up creating a whole new situation for you. It's about just, do your part. I'm sorry about how I acted back then. And, I love you, and leave it at that. It's like Ho'oponopono prayer. It's, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you. I think there's one more thing in there, but it's like that kind of feeling that you can go about it. All right, let's see what else we have here. Yeah, Emperor. So the Emperor is about control. And for this reading, I'm really focusing in on that. This is the part of our journey of our soul in the beginning, because it's just number 4. And so the Empress is right before that, which is freedom and Mother Nature and openness. And then the Emperor comes in and goes, all right, let's have some rules and some control, and we got to limit and put things in a box, because this is like the expectations card of the major arcana for me, because it's like, yes, this is what we do. In order for all these thousands of people to live near each other, we've got to have some rules. And it starts off with this caring, expectations of, okay, this is how we can all get along as a society. And then, of course, the ego goes in, that fear that we were talking about. I need to be in control. So they try to have power. They try to gain more power and keep power. And so the restrictions become smaller and smaller and smaller, and this oppression, comes. And so this is like this, awareness around the expectations that you have on yourself, the expectations you have on others, and really questioning those. It's like, I'm supposed to have a college degree and have this high-paying job and own a home, and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. The list just goes on and on and on and on, because you're getting all these opinions from the outside world on who you should be, what you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to do, what you have to do, what you need to do. And that's what brings all the pressure and a lot of the fear, because what happens if I don't live up to those expectations, we feel like we're rejected. And so this card is really bringing in this beautiful message about looking at your expectations and really questioning it, like, why do I believe that, and is it really true? It's like, well, yeah, because they said so, or because this book, if it's based on a religion, there's all sorts of religions with all sorts of books and everything. It's like, well, yeah, this is the rule. And it's like, well, question that, really get into your heart. And find out, why is it that you believe what you believe in? Is it true? So beautiful transformation going on here. Yeah, because here's the Tower. And so this is like, kind of like the Death card in a way, because this is something in your life is being removed for you. It's not being removed to have something to you, but this is about the movement out of the way. And the story that comes with this card is, before we come down here as the beautiful, powerful souls we are, we sit and we choose, this is when we're going to enter the game, and this is when we're going to leave the game. Here's the avatar that, the character I'm going to play in this life, with my strengths and my weaknesses and my weapons. It's like when you choose an avatar when you're going to play a video game, right? So you choose all this stuff, and then you have all these fated experiences that you want to have happen so that you understand and grow and become who you are. And so there's this agreement that's made, and then you have your little character. As you go through playing your character, you still have the choice within each of those fated moments to decide, like we talked about, what story you apply to that situation, what emotion you want to feel during that. Are you going to choose an extreme emotion of fear, or an extreme emotion of unconditional love, or something in between? And then you just are going through life. Well, where this Tower comes in is that you've had this thing in your life, whether it's a relationship, it can be, romantic or friendship or family or, work or some sort of relationship with an individual. Or it could be a situation like a job or education or something like that. Or it can be a possession, something physical, like, a home, a car, your finances, your physical body. And this thing is in your life right now. All your fated events, this is one of the fated events, but in order to experience these other fated events, this thing has to be removed out of your life. And so, you do get a countdown. I don't think it shows it in here. Yeah, it doesn't show it in here, but some cards will show someone getting blasted out of the tower, and also with someone jumping out of the tower. And what that represents is that if you are connected and listening to the spirit world, you'll hear the countdown of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, zap, right? And you can jump out of the tower early and remove the tower thing out of your life beforehand. But, of course, we love to learn the hard way. And so, usually we like getting blasted out of the tower because we like getting all that up to that last moment, getting all of that juicy wisdom and knowledge that we glean from the experience. So, you can jump out of it beforehand, but if not, then this is removed for you. And a beautiful message that comes with all this is that life doesn't happen to you. Life happens for you. So these forgiveness things that happen, when you realize, okay, that wasn't happening to me, that was happening for me, you can forgive the other person, because again, you realize there's nothing to forgive. I had 5 longish term relationships, lasting between a year and 3 years, and each one of the individuals that I was in the relationship with, they kept teaching me and kept showing me how I felt about myself until I saw it. And I'm like, okay, when I look back, I understood that these were happening for me. These situations kept pointing me back to me so that I would have my discovery. I would have that spark, back to realizing who we really are, our higher selves. And so I was able to look back, and now I don't hold any angst, with being cheated on or how I felt I was treated or anything like that, because one, I realized a lot of it was the story I was putting to it, but 2, it was happening for me. And so, it's like you hire someone to come and scare you, and they do, and you get mad at them. It's like, you hired me. Like, oh yeah, that's right. Sorry. Now that I'm calmed down, I can see that. So beautiful message here. I just love this. And then your final card is the Chariot. Well, you had all major arcana cards here, which means these are like life type of things, not just a situation point in time. The major arcana means these are about your life. And I love this because this is all about that you are the one that gets to make the choice. This is your power of choice card. You get to determine what everything means about you. You get to decide, like we were talking about with your power of choice in each moment, you get to decide what everything means about you. And so when you go back and look at these situations, we never want to get rid of what we felt, back then, because that is what we came here for. We came here to experience everything, all these fated events we wanted to have happen. And so you more take that memory and you put it in like a photo album, and you're like, I'm going to take this back to the other side when I go, because this is what I came here to go. I'm like, look what I learned. This is what betrayal feels like. It was so delicious, what we do is we remove that out of our energy flow. It talks about here, this is a block. So if this thing is, we're focusing on it, investing energy into this, emotion and situation, we're maintaining that emotion, and we're just looping that emotion within us. But when we are like, and we stop it and we look at it the way we've been talking about, then you remove it out of the way, and you can actually even look at it in a different way. You can go, oh wow, this is empowering, and it actually will help the flow of love instead. And so that's that transformation that comes with this. So beautiful. I love this message for you. And then lastly, we're going to pick a card here from the Spirit Junkie deck and just get your final message from the creator here for your Libra season. So it's beautiful. I know you're like, forgiveness, blah, blah, blah. But all these are such powerful messages that can be very transformative for your life. So definitely it's come to you because this is the message. This is the countdown for this tower to be removed out of your life. Because, this is a general reading, but I really feel like this stuff that's been just bubbling up inside of you is impacting you emotionally, it's impacting you physically, it's impacting you mentally. And if you don't deal with it now, then the tower comes where you'll have to deal with it. It's going to become so extreme in those areas of your life that It's like you're going to have to get medical help. You're going to have to get like extreme help. But now is like this countdown of the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 before the tower. And so it's coming to you now as a message for you. So, all right, Creator, what is your final message for those that chose reading number 1? All right. And it says, send a prayer of love to all beings in need of a miracle. And I love that. I really do, because, that is what this forgiveness really transforms to. When we talked about, you go back and you look at the situation and you realize, oh my gosh, that person must have been in so much fear and so much pain to act that way. That compassion that builds up within inside you, it just allows you to send love to them. Like I said before, you're like, I'm not going to contact them. You're like, you don't have to, unless you really feel like overwhelmingly that'll help you with your inner healing. But this is sending love. Fill yourself up with that unconditional love of the Creator, and then let that love overflow out to that individual or that situation, and let love do its work there, and just send that compassion. Because sometimes when you think of someone and your heart is aching for them and there's nothing that you can do in the physical world or nothing you want to do in the physical world, again, if you're like, I don't want to involve myself in their life, I'm just not ready, you can still send love to that situation. Sending that unconditional love to that situation will, encircle and that person or that, and the soul behind the person, the real higher self behind this character you were involved with, will take that love and work with it. Spirit will take that love in this situation and work miracles. All right. I love this for you. I'm going to leave it at that. I do these types of readings for the Libra seasons. I also do weeklies by element and monthly by zodiac sign and a bunch of other videos throughout the month. So if you want to get notified of those when those come out, if you haven't done so already, just click the subscribe button down below, and then that will make this little subscribe or this little notification bell up here, and just click on that, and then you'll get notified of when the new readings come out. So just know as you're going throughout this month of Libra season that you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things, and I love you too. I'm sure I'll be talking to you soon. You take care. All right. If you chose reading number 2, which was the Venus card, then this is the reading for you. And it's beautiful because, of course, Venus, the planet Venus, relates to the goddess Venus, which is the goddess of love and fertility and beauty. And it really is all about what you value. So is it money or possessions, your ideals in life, your relationships, your partnerships, or, of course, love. It's all about love. So for this reading, we're going to ask the Creator what they want you to know about those things that you value. So that's going to be the focus of this reading. And we're going to start off by pulling a card here from the Sacred Destiny Oracle. Just see what the Creator wants you to know. All right, Creator, what do you want our lovely people who chose reading number 2 to know about their value? Their value or values for this month. You got blessings. Beautiful, beautiful card. And let's see what message comes with that card here. It's called Holy Spring. In many ancient cultures, it was believed that there were some springs that were holy. Gods and goddesses were thought to reside in or near these special places, and they were revered. Greek mythology is replete with stories of these special places. Many of the Christian hallowed water sources, such as the chalice well, were used for sacred purposes long before Christianity rose to prominence. So these kinds of springs, water springs, it's making sense now, were thought to be healing waters where blessings were bestowed by mystical beings. So the sacred landscape here wants you to know that immense blessings are emerging into your life from those in spirit. Angels, guides, and spirit guardians are watching over you. Angelic intervention is available to you. Be open to the voice of the divine. Messages are all around you. You are protected. You are safe. Have faith that your path is guided. Watch for signs that spiritual beings are present. Profound healing energy is flowing to you in wondrous ways. Refreshing, replenishing energy is filling your life. Beautiful. I love that. And it's interesting because, at first you're like going, what has that got to do with my values and what I value? But it's beautiful because this is talking about, there's this fear of losing things that you value, right? And that's what I feel this is coming, the reason why this message is coming for you. And this is a general reading, of course. So the value or the thing that you're afraid that you're going to lose in life, whether it's an ideal or a belief or, whatever, I know in our time, and it's what I'm seeing is all this division that's been going on over the last, year, 2 years. It's like, what do you value most? And it's like, well, I feel like this right is going to be taken away from me, or this is how I'm being treated, and I'm not being treated. And so it comes down to this value of your worth, that you are worthy of love. And that's what this is coming through, is it's every one of those values, everything that you care about, all comes down to how you feel about yourself. It all comes down to that. You are looking at life through your eyes, and you don't see the world as it is, you see the world as you are. And so when you have this love for yourself that's so tiny, that's how much love you can receive from the world, and that's how much love you can give to the world. But as you connect to that inner love and to this inner knowing that you are known by the amazing beings of unconditional love and light on the other side, the Creator, Spirit, Holy Spirit, angels, guides, your loved ones who have lived here and are already on the other side, your ancestors, just a whole slew of beings of unconditional love and light love you so much. And as you connect and you see these signs on the outside world, you start to believe and you start to trust that you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things and that whole posse of beings on the other side. And it just grows and grows, and that transforms your life, and your value of life changes too. You stop defining yourself by all the stuff that's going on the outside world, because you have all this love that you're finding on the inside world. And so you start to see all the blessings, you start to see all the beautiful messages of love that are coming your way. One, because you can see it now because you've opened your heart eye, right? So you can see things more clearly because you're no longer in this panic mode and this desperation to be loved from the outside, which you won't ever be satisfied for very long at all, if at all, from that comes from the outside, because that is unstable and temporary, whereas the love you find inside from the other side is eternal, is unconditional, meaning nothing you can do to lose it, nothing you can do to gain more of it, because you have all of it. So I love that. Well, we're also going to dive in and pull some cards from this Tarot of Dreams tarot deck. We're just going to see what else the Creator wants you to know about this. But yeah, definitely this is all about your value and your worth. When you define yourself by what you're worth to things outside of yourself, that's retail price, and you end up on the blue light special rack. That was an old Kmart thing way back in the day. Instead of feeling priceless when you look at that worth from the inside, right? Right, Creator. So for those that chose reading number 2, okay. Okay, I feel like they're like these 4. Right to the point. So your first card is the Page of Cups. Totally perfect, because cups are about your emotions. It is about your, how you feel about yourself, how you feel about the world, of course. And pages, there's 2 messages that come with this card, and it's pretty fun, because pages are messengers as well. And so I look at this as messages of love. And so that's exactly what we were just talking about. You're going to have these messages of love, these emotional messages that come for you. And when you think about that, I mean, it's if you have, everyone has empathic abilities. Everyone feels other people's emotions at some level. Usually everyone has a gut feeling of like, oh, I don't know if I trust that situation or that person. That's, but there's others that you feel people's emotions to extreme. It depends on your, kind of your astrology. The more water you have in your chart, the more emotions of everyone else that you feel. And so you will feel messages as well, which is, if you have these deep empathic emotions, you know what I'm talking about. It's like it's a feeling you get, and then it eventually gets interpreted into your brain, but it comes through your emotions first. And so you're going to get these emotional messages, like I mentioned, from the outside and into your heart from the other side. The other thing of the Page of Cups is about this new level of love, this new awareness of love. It's about this newness that comes with it. And it also, pages were like children back in the day. It's the youthful feeling, like before we're taught, to resist emotion, and that there are bad emotions and good emotions. When you go back to young children, we felt what we felt and we moved through it and on to the next emotion. We weren't taught to loop and stay in an emotion over and over and over and over and over again. You can throw a tantrum, be done, and be laughing moments later. You could get in a fight with another kid over a toy and be their best bud seconds later. We weren't taught resentment and holding on to things and all that. And this is talking about going back to this feeling of free-flowing emotion, that no emotion is wrong. You don't have to act on the emotion, but you can flow through emotion. And really this is coming back to this, also this feeling that children have when they're very, very young. They haven't forgotten who they were. They haven't been veiled so much before, we start getting all that conditioning and all that praise and punishment, where our life goes from feeling free and open to whoosh, here's the road you must follow. This is a beautiful, free-flowing feeling of love, because that's what we feel. We still have that left over from the other side, that unconditional love, until we start learning all about conditional love and all those fear emotions, which are so juicy and uncomfortable that we come here to experience. But this is about returning back to that and connecting to that higher, beautiful love. So totally in alignment with that card as well. And then you have the 3 of Wands. Beautiful card here. Wands are your like your drive, your ambition, your aha inspiration, but it's also your spiritual energy. And the 3 of Wands, you see he's like this, the ship is coming. The 2 of Wands is about, like, you make these plans and you make these decisions, and you're like, how am I going to get from A to Z? And you've gone from A to B, and then this is like when you're on B, you are able to look at life in a different way. And it's about altering your plans. It's about, with this new information, this new love that you're feeling, this new awareness that comes about your value and who you are. You start to make changes in your life. You start to make different plans. You start to take that energy and that drive that you have, and if you can think of it as like someone hands you a dream and goes, here's your dream for your life. This is what you're supposed to do. It's an opinion from the outside world, and you take it on and go, oh, okay. And so you start making plans and start, how am I going to make this dream unfold? And you do it out of fear because you are afraid if you don't do what that person wanted, that you're going to get rejected and that you're unlovable, right? But when you come back to this love and you find this love inside, then you're not afraid of being rejected because you have unconditional love from the inside. And so if you disappoint that person, that's their choice. They could be disappointed. They get to experience that, but it doesn't have to influence or change what you want to do with your life, right? So you're like, now you have your new dream. You have your dream. You don't have someone else's dream. And then you're like, you know what? I'm altering my course and I'm making a new plan. I'm going on a new adventure. I'm going in a new direction. And you really, sometimes the Three of Wands, they'll be holding like the world in their hands, and you literally start seeing the world from a different perspective because you aren't in fear. You're feeling love, and you're feeling brave and courageous like that. Yep. And then you have, this is the Eight of Cups. And I love this because it looks, and especially usually, they show them like heading off into the mountains. And I love that this is, you're heading upward into a new place, because this is all about, again, cups are your emotions. And so you're realizing what you're ready to leave behind, what no longer serves you, and you're moving up into a higher love. So I love how this card represents that here. So definitely what we've been talking about, you are able to see why you felt different ways, why you chose to feel different ways when you felt about yourself. It's one of the big things in my life. I realized that all of my relationships, whether it's friendships or intimate relationships or family or like friends, work, wherever it is, they're all mirrors for me, and they were always pointing me, showing me how I felt about myself. And when you realize that, then you realize, oh, okay, it's done its purpose. And when you have this awakening to this higher love, then, those situations did what they were designed to do, which were always pointing you back this way, So if I felt like, well, they're disrespecting me, I'm like, oh, how am I disrespecting myself? And one of the big things was like, like what they cheated on me, and it's like, how am I cheating on myself? I was like, ooh, and I was like, oh wow, I am looking for my worth and definition out there. So instead of finding it from within me, so I am cheating on myself with this other person because the one that I can have this deep, intimate relationship with and this love from is me, with the Creator, and the other side, I can have this beautiful relationship. So I'm cheating on myself with others, right? So this awareness that comes when you connect to this higher love, it just really helps you understand what your life has been up to this point, which is a beautiful mirror pointing us back to ourselves. And you can then step into new adventures. You don't have to keep going through the same, thing. I had 5 longest term relationships, and they all kept pointing me back to me, showing me how I felt about myself. And I'm like, yeah, how could they love me any more than I was loving myself? I'm like, thank you, all my teachers. And once you realize it, you don't need to attend that class anymore. You get to go into other classes. And here you have the Magician. And this is beautiful because this does tell you that one, and then they usually have the infinity symbol somewhere on the card. I don't see it right offhand, but this is your infinite self, and you have everything you need. It has all 4 elements in it. You've got your the sword, which, oh, here it is right here. Duh. Here's the infinity symbol. It just takes you standing further back. So this is like, you have everything mentally you need. You have all the drive that you need. You have all the emotional support you need. And you have everything in the physical world you need. It has this beautiful empowerment. You have everything you need inside of you to have this beautiful manifestation of things in your life. You're able to change and focus, this beautiful wand energy in a direction when you feel this wholeness and this completeness that you get from this unconditional love. You have the power to have this beautiful journey in this beautiful, direction. So whatever you set your soul to, that's in alignment with your soul, with your higher heart, it's beautiful, because you have this. You are the wizard, you are the magician. That doesn't matter if you're male, female, or however you identify. This means you have that power to transform your life, because you have everything you need right inside you. All right. I love it. I love it. I love it. And then lastly, I'm going to pull a card here from the Spirit Junkie deck here, and just see what the final message the Creator has for you. But yeah, this is all about your value. How do you value yourself? Are you putting retail price on yourself, or do you see how priceless you are? All right, Creator, what's your final message for those that chose reading number 2, please? Okay, I feel like this is the one right here. I celebrate all the greatness in my life, and that greatness is you. I really believe that. Celebrate the greatness that you are. Let that sink in. They're telling me to say it again. Celebrate the greatness that you are. And keep saying that to yourself until you can see it, because they definitely are going to be bringing you messages throughout this, Libra season period from September 22nd to October 22nd especially. Listen, because there's beautiful, beautiful message about how beautiful you are and how loved you are. All right. Well, just know as you're going through all this, of course, that you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things. And I love you too. I did want to let you know, in addition to these, readings that I do for these changes in zodiac seasons, I do monthly by zodiac sign readings. I also do weekly element readings and a variety of other different readings throughout the month. So if you want to get notified of when those come out, if you haven't done so already, just click the subscribe button. And when you do that, this little notification bell will pop up, and just click on that, and then you will get notified of when the new videos come out. So there you have it. Enjoy this beautiful Libra season, and I'm sure I'll be talking to you very soon. You take care now. If you chose reading number 3, which is the air element, then this is the reading for you. And it's beautiful because the air element, it fuels the winds of truth, and it whispers grand insights. So you get clarity and truth. And those are supported by rationality and reason and common sense and, of course, logic. That's what, the air signs, a lot of the traits that all the air signs have. And so for this reading, what we're going to be focusing in on is what the Creator wants you to know. Like, what truth does the Creator want to bring to your mind for this, Libra season? And we're going to start off by pulling a card here from the Wisdom of the Avalon. It's the Oracle cards. And we will see what truth, what wisdom the Creator would like to bring to you for this period. And one more time. All right, Creator, for those that chose reading number 3, the air element, what do you want them to know? What truth, what wisdom do you want them to know for this season? Okay, I feel like this one right here is the one that is beckoning to us. And you've got movement. I'll show you that here. And it's the sacred journey markers. So this is one of those markers that is showing you where to go, which is beautiful. So it says this marker reminds you that all things change as part of the cycle of life. And this may portend a physical move, or it heralds a release from restriction and waiting. So rejoice, for change is in the air and new things are about to enter your world. This puts you on notice that it's time to broaden your horizons as you move forward on your path. You may travel to new and foreign places, both physically and inwardly. It is fortunate and timely to do so. Nothing is ever meant to be static in the ways of the living mystery. Movement brings challenges that must not be resisted, for progress can only be made by letting go of what was and welcoming what is and what is yet to come. So this marker is always an omen of a change for the better. So I know our human side of us doesn't like change. It likes to keep things known and stagnant. But just know that the change that's coming is for the better. And I love this picture in my head. It's a meme that I saw of this big, huge adult. And he had his hand out to this little girl who had this dilapidated, falling apart, arm missing, stuffing, out of this little stuffed, teddy bear, right? And she's like not wanting to give it up, but behind his back, he's got a much bigger one, a newer one, something much greater. And he's just asking, give me this, and this makes room for me to give you that. And that's that, feeling and picture that I see for you here. So we'll get some more information here from these Tarot of Dreams cards here, and to see what other message or clarity the Creator has on this for you. All right, Creator, what else would you like those that chose reading number 3 to know about this movement? What's this change about? Okay, so you got these two here. What else? Okay, that one there. And I feel like there's one more. Okay, actually it's this one right here. Okay. I did want that one too, so you get a bonus. We will take whatever messages we can get, right? Yep, so you have judgment here, and I love this movement because with it being two, XX meaning 2 tens, this is about like double endings, double beginnings. And you can see here, this is about, we usually have like a coffin, and someone, like the human side is being raised from the dead, and here's this an angelic being that's calling it. And this is all about realizing that you're more than just this human that's walking through, in life here, that you're this powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being that's made of unconditional love. You're this actor behind these characters that we play upon the earth. And so this judgment that comes is about looking at and understanding that you have these beliefs, these small t truths of black and white and good and bad, and all that, that goes with that human experience, on the earth. But there's these capital T truths. Actually, I'm just going to move this here. Capital T truths that are from our higher self, these higher awarenesses. And so this movement is this movement in beliefs. It is this movement in your whole how you see the world. Because when you see the world through the eyes of our human side, of that little small character, a lot of it is fight or flight and based on fear, and you're trying to define yourself by the outside world, and you feel restricted, and you feel the chaos and the unpredictability. You feel like you're on a drama train that's about to jump off the tracks and fly off into a gorge and explode. It's the kind of feeling that we have, and so we're afraid, and so we stay stagnant, and we stay small, and we stay like a turtle inside of its turtle shell. And this is all about this awakening that happens and this power that comes when you realize you're more than that. You're so much more than this little character you're playing in this video game. You're this massive being of power and light and love. So I love this awareness that comes because this is that movement that triggers this in your life. It allows you to have the courage to move forward, and it has this awareness that your life is happening for you. It's not happening to you. So you have so much more power over your life than you think. And we'll see what else comes in here. Yeah, okay. So 2 of Cups. Yeah, definitely this, being a general reading, sometimes this means new love, higher love, moving up to the next level of love with someone else. But for me, and especially with this Judgment card coming here, the 2 of Cups is like, this is the cup of your human side. This is the cup of your higher self. And it's this joining together of this love. And it's this understanding that, like we said, you're more than just this little person, you're this bigger person. So you have this human side of yourself that's so hungry for love, and it's looking out here. All it's finding is this temporary, unstable, disappointing love that doesn't fulfill you for long, if at all. And then you have this unconditional love that's eternal and powerful, and stable, and you bring that love to yourself, and then you start experiencing life in a whole new way. You don't feel as lost and as aimless, because you have your connection to your higher self, and to that your connection to your higher self just opens up your whole spiritual world and your connection to all those beings of unconditional love and light. This, of course, is also the symbol of Venus. So this card also represents Venus, which is, of course, Libra season. So this is definitely the season for you to experience and connect to this higher love that you have. You're making this movement in a spiritual way to another level. And here's the Queen of Wands. Wands is all about your drive, your ambition, your aha inspiration, but it's also your spiritual energy because it's fire. And so this represents, the Queen, of course, has been, through the 2 of Wands all the way up to, the Queen. She's almost at the King of Wands. She also has this divine feminine energy, so she really connects to the emotional side of feeling your fire, your confidence. She has the ability to pinpoint and focus this beautiful energy that's inside of her. She also normally has a black cat. I don't see it in this one here. But she normally doesn't, she has the lizards on here. Usually she doesn't. The other, the page, the knight, and the king usually have the salamander or the lizard that protects them from the heat and the risks of, this energy of wanting to move forward and do things. It has very much a huge drive behind it. She usually has a black cat, which shows that her intuition and her ability to connect to her emotions is what drives her and keeps her protected. And so I really feel, this is an important piece of it too, with the cups here and connecting to your higher self. She would be the one that can use her intuition to know where to pinpoint her energy and where to invest her energy and her drive into her life. So the movement that happens, she's the one that can guide you and show you how to use it. And so this energy that is coming in is like, yeah, don't be afraid. You will know what to do. It's not going to be this unknown, mystery type of thing. Even though this talked about the great mystery, it's like, yeah, you're going to be totally guided. It's just about making sure to quiet your fear noise. Try to focus as much as you can, as often as you can, on unconditional love, peace, joy, and laughter. That's the vibration of the higher world. And all this connection is beautiful, because this is all about your spiritual energy. This is about connecting to your higher self. This is about becoming aware of your higher self. So it's pretty clear here. And then you have the Five of Swords. You can see that card here. Swords are your thoughts, your beliefs, your mentalities, mindsets, expectations. So this is all about your mind, and the and again you've got the Venus here again. So definitely, this is about your, with the Four of Swords, that's when your mind is at rest and you're understanding these expectations that you have, right? And you're not allowing them to impact you so much, because you're kind of stepping out of your mind and you're going that, direction. Then you have this Five of Swords. Fives are all about the changes. And so you hold this Ace of Swords mightily in your hands here, right? He's got both hands on the Ace of Swords. And what that, for me, for this reading is all about is the Ace of Swords is what brings truth. So definitely with the air, this is the air element that for the air sign that you chose for this, right? And it is bringing you this clarity and this ability to cut away those thoughts and those beliefs that no longer serve you, right? Those thoughts and beliefs that are keeping you small, that are making you fearing and staying stagnant, and so as you cut away those, and as you it makes room for these higher beliefs, these we talked about the small T truths and the capital T truths with this judgment. That's what you're dealing with here, is you're using that mighty sword of truth to bring that and to slice those away, and to understand that they served you for a time. You got to experience what you wanted to experience, because now you have that understanding of the opposite of who you are. As this higher being, if you're this being of light and all you did was have light, you wouldn't understand that you are light until you experience darkness and you experience smallness. You don't know how big you are till you have something to compare it to. It's like seeing a picture of one of those, this tree, and you're like, oh wow, it's a tree, okay. But you're like, no, zoom in. And as you zoom in on the picture, at the very, very bottom, there's this tiny little human being, and this huge, and the tree is like, hundreds of feet thick and hundreds of feet tall, because we didn't realize the perspective of it. And so experiencing this does give us that perspective, but just know that there's things that no longer serve you anymore, because you're ready to move on to something very different, hand in hand with your higher self, not feeling lost and, like I said, and unstable in the physical world. Yeah. And then you have the Three of Pentacles, and or Three of Coins as it's called in here. But the Three of Pentacles is about you're doing your work here. You're working on a masterpiece. You're putting, and this really, helps with this connection that you have from above. Three is the creativity. So it allows you to make this creative movement in your life. And this is about the external world. So all this inner work that you're doing does pour out into your physical world. And it is this successful movement. It is this kind of mastery around things. This does bring you clarity on what you really want in your life. Because if you are, like we're talking about, the Queen of Wands has the ability to zero in and point energy in a certain direction. If you've been feeling dispassionate, if you've been feeling stagnant, like it was talking about, not having movement happen in your life, that generally is a big indicator that you are living someone else's dream and not your own. You're living as opposed to a should, a need to, a have to. You're just trying to meet expectations. And it's exhausting because you have to invest so much just to get up to that. But when you're living for your dream and your passion, you don't wake up in the morning going, I woke up again. Here we go again. I wish I could just go back to sleep. You don't have that feeling. When you're living your passion, you're up early, you're jumping out of bed, you're excited, you have all this passion and this energy that's just behind you to live. And so, this is telling you that if you're feeling stagnant and there is this lack of movement in your life, this is this, I wouldn't say a wake-up call, but it is this zap, this message that you're getting from your higher self, come and join with me. Come to this new level. Let's see what truly makes your heart sing, what makes your heart full of joy, and how you want to uniquely express that unconditional love with the world. Because you do have this call of this connection, and this letting go of those things that no longer serve you, letting go of that dream that's not yours, so that you can allow your creative force, your little mini creator self, express itself in the world and show it its magic, right? This beautiful, beautiful, light that you are. The world needs you to express who you are, not to try to fit into a mold of what someone says you're supposed to be or should be, or what you have to do, what you need to do. You get to connect to this higher wisdom, this higher knowledge, and understand what it is you really want to make movement in, right? Beautiful. And I do love also this movement here. Definitely the Aquarian energy that's, with that card as well. But so this movement is about these thoughts and these beliefs about yourself quite a bit. So, right. And then lastly, we're going to pull a card here from this Spirit Junkie deck and just see what the final message the Creator has for you regarding this movement. You've got to move it, move it. But it's because you want to, because you'll never do anything you don't want to do anyway. Truth, right? So when the ugly feeling of staying stagnant and staying where you're at outweighs the fear of making forward movement, that's when you normally will make movement, and not before then. So don't be afraid. You're only going to make movement that you're ready to make, to move. But, I love that message. Don't be afraid. This is an omen of positive change coming your way. All right, Creator, what's your final message for those that chose the air element for their reading? Okay, this one right here. And yours is, I love again, this looks a lot like the Two of Cups, right? Compassion is my compass. I'm willing to hold space for the experience of others. Compassion is your compass. Love is your compass, expressing that beautiful, loving being that you are, that wonderful, unconditional love energy you hold within you. How are you going to express that with the world? I love it. All right, well, I'm going to leave the reading at that. I just want to let you know that in addition to these readings, for each of the seasonal changes in the zodiac signs, I also do a monthly reading for all zodiac signs, weekly element readings and new moon, full moon readings, a bunch of different readings throughout the month. So if you want to get notified of when those come out, if you haven't done so already, just click the subscribe button down below. That'll have this little bell appear here, and just click on that and you'll be notified when those new videos come out. So just know as you're going throughout this Libra season that every second of every day you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things. And I love you too. I'm sure I'll be talking to you soon. Until then, you take care. Happy birthday, all you Libra Sun babies. I am excited to bring this special birthday reading for you. And what we're going to do is we're just going to ask the Creator what they want you to know just about your whole next year as you go around another whole orbit of the sun. So we're going to start off by pulling a card here from the Soul's Journey cards. Basically taking a card from each of the cards I used in the other 3 readings. I mean, you get the bonus of having all of them. We'll just see what the Creator wants you to know, just overall about your year coming up. Creator, what would you like our Libra Sun babies to know about their next year of their life? It's a beautiful journey. Okay, there we go. Yep. You've got the change. Beautiful, beautiful flower there. Kind of almost looks like a hurricane. Sorry. I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without movement. Yeah. And I love, the storms of life that come. But here you are in the middle. You can still be in the eye of the storm. No matter what comes, you get to decide what it means about you and for you in your life, right? So I know a certain piece of our human side goes, change, no. It likes things safe and secure and in control. There's this beautiful energy that's coming around this, with knowing that whatever change does come for you. It's not something that'll happen to you. It's always happening for you. And regardless of what's going on, you get to decide what story you put to it. And you also get to decide what emotion you feel about it. And there's no wrong emotion. You can choose extreme emotions of fear or extreme emotions of unconditional love or something in between. But you are the one that gets to control that. You are ultimately the one in control of your journey, right? No matter how out of control you are of the things in the outside world, you have that beautiful, beautiful power within you, your power of choice, right? So it talks about here, there is a certain comfort in the idea of living a life without surprises, like I was talking about. The status quo has an appeal, but you will never learn or grow if your circumstances stay the same. Everybody wants life to be better, but that requires change. You have chosen to incarnate into this physical dimension called Earth because of the myriad of opportunities. If you don't take advantage of them, what was the point? I love it. Staying within your comfort zone is overrated. With change comes transformation, and with transformation comes evolution. You can stop viewing change as good or bad because all change nourishes your soul. Don't equate it with a lack of control. There we go. Life happens, and it's supposed to happen. You can direct how it plays out, and you always have the power to accept a change that redirects your path. So beautiful, like we were just talking about. So I love that there. Yep, I think what we're going to do, what they're guiding me to do next is we'll pull some cards here from the Tarot of Dreams around this change, just to get some clarification. Probably going, what change? What is it gonna, what part of my life? What? And this is a general reading, of course, so, it's gonna be different for every one of you, but we can at least get some general guidance on it for you here. Okay, what do you want them to know about this change? Okay, 3 cards, boom, boom, boom. So I'll put those right there for now. Yep, Knight of Swords. So this is swords are your like your mind. So your thoughts, your beliefs, your mindsets, your attitudes, your expectations, the way you see the world. And the Knight is about movement. And so with this change, I feel like this is a change in your mindsets. It's not like this out of control change that's coming from the outside world. This is a change in how you see the world. And because you're changing on the inside with how you're looking at things and seeing things, that is what brings this change into your world. So that is comforting, right? It's like, okay, it's because I'm changing that my world changes. Yeah, here you go. So you got death and rebirth. So yeah, you have things that are ending in your life, and that's what's creating this rebirth. So definitely this is all in alignment with this changeness card here. You know, and you know, there's this understanding that, you know, we never let go of anything until we're ready anyway, right? If we have fear of letting something go, and we have uncomfortable feelings about being in a situation, if these feelings don't outweigh our fear of it, we generally don't make the change, right? But once those ugly feelings outweigh the fears, that's when we'll make change. It's like, yep, we're ready. I'm ready to let it go. I'm not worried about it anymore, but until that happens. So just know, you know, that in most cases, things will not leave our lives until we're ready for it. Things will leave our life when our human doesn't think it's ready for it, but our spirit and our soul knew, because they planned for it to leave our life at a certain point. So even when things leave in our human side, we're like, I didn't want that to go. It's like, well, it wouldn't have left us if we weren't ready for it to leave us, you know, at some level. So yeah. Okay, so you had death, and then you have new beginnings, the Fool. This is all about a new start, a new birth. You know, usually this also represents your soul, so really connecting to the deepness of your soul. But for this one, I really feel, especially with the death card, like right with it. This means that you reach the end of a major cycle and you're beginning a new cycle and a new journey in your life. So definitely this next year of your life is going to be an amazing restart, an amazing step into just a new place in your life. And I love that for you. So, you know, again, it's things that you're ready and things that you want to have happen. This other message that I'm getting for the Soul card is to know that you're more than this human side. You know, you are, you know, more than this little character you're playing on the earth. You are this huge, powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being made of unconditional love. Before you came down here, you did plan, you know, who you were going to be when you came down here. You chose yourself, your parents, where you were going to be born, you know, so all that zodiac, astrology, astrological information about who you are, this character. You knew how you were going to be born, when you were going to be born, when you're going to leave this game, and all these experiences that you want to have throughout this life. You have all these things you signed up for. And so know when these things come in and when things move out, that it's your soul that signed off on the itinerary because it wanted to experience all these things. And that can really change, you know, how you see your life and how you see your world, because it's like life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. Kind of like when you feeling very emotional and you're like, gosh, why am I so, you know, sad, or why am I so excited, why am I so, you know, have so much fiery energy, and you go outside and the full moon is sitting out there and you're like, oh, there's the full moon, it's amplifying all my energy, okay, at least I know why. And it helps you just be with what you're feeling with, be with what you're going through. Same thing with this. When you understand life is happening for you, life isn't happening to you, you can sit in a situation and instead of feeling like a victim of the situation, you can understand that, I'm a student in this moment. What did I want myself to learn about this? And you can see things from a different perspective. And sometimes it's after it happens and we go, oh, I wanted to feel all those feelings, and now what am I going to do with that, right? We're just going to pull a card here from the Sacred Destiny Oracle to see what else the Creator wants you to know about this next year of your journey. All right. What else do you want our beautiful Libra Sun babies to know? Okay, they want that one right there. And you've got pleasure. Yay, here's your path over the next year. Beautiful, beautiful. Look at the little deer there. So put that right here and see what message comes with that for you. It's called called luscious meadow. Meadows are usually open, sunny places where flora and fauna thrive and flourish. They are havens, as the tree surrounding the meadow offers protection and shade for the grassy area. Traditionally, they are associated with openness, gentle calm, and relaxation. They are places where the weary traveler can stop and rest to renew his spirit. A meadow is a place where people, as well as animals, gather to enjoy the simple pleasures of life. And the sacred landscape wants you to know, savor your life, each and every part of it. Take pleasure in slowing down and experiencing each of your senses. Taste your food with full gusto. Inhale the sense of the world around you. Enjoy the colors and textures of your life. This is truly a stop and smell the roses card. Embrace your sensuality. Move in a languid way. Let pleasure be your password into every intimate part of your life. Allow your life to be less about being productive and more about enjoying each moment with verve. And a radiant energy will flow through you in all directions of your life. Wow, yeah, definitely. I love that. So definitely this is about you enjoying all those, enjoying the moment. It's like coming back to the now, coming back to kind of like we were talking about here, where when you realize life is happening for you, you can just really embrace the moment and really just take in everything you're getting in all of your five senses and even your sixth sense, right? This, through your gut feeling, your third eye, your intuition, your spirit, experience everything in that moment and be here now and enjoy each of the steps, not rushing to get through another year. It's like, enjoy each moment as it unfolds. And we're going to pull more cards here from these Tarot of the Dreams. Let's see what else the Creator wants you to know about experiencing your senses and your pleasure. Allow yourself to receive. I get this message of, we get pushed into seeing that in the future, when this happens, then I can be happy, then I can be fulfilled, then I can be whole and complete. And I feel like with this change of mind and change of attitude around life, you realize that, when I got to this point, am I going to be happy, or am I going to be thinking about the next thing in the future that needs to happen? Because if I can't be thankful and grateful in this moment, how am I going to be thankful and grateful in those moments? Chances are you won't be. You'll always be looking to something else. Because if your happiness depends on the future, then, something has to happen that can be taken away from you. But if you're happy today, even for no reason at all, then no one can take away your happiness, right? All right, great. What else do you want our little sun babies to know about this pleasure over this next year? Okay. No, not those. Any others? Okay. These two right here. So you have the devil, dun dun dun. And this is not a bad card, this just, the devil is our shadow. And that pleasure, I loved that it mentioned in there about embracing all aspects of yourself, because we have a shadow side, and that is what is the bravest little piece of ourselves that chose to come down here, that littleness that was so brave to say, I will be the part of you that comes down, and I will be the one that will allow myself to feel separate, that will feel alone, that will feel betrayal, that'll feel all those uncomfortable emotions of fear. I will be the one to come here and be that. And so I love that your shadow has showed up here, because that is like, yes, I am part of your life. You don't have to destroy me. And it's about this, your higher self embracing your shadow and walking together, and realizing it's a part, because our shadow is this piece of ourselves that is born to want to receive. It wants to receive love. It's hungry for love. And your higher self is the only one that can bring it what it truly wants. It's like the strength card where it has a picture of a lion on it. And the lion is our shadow side. It's our hungry little beast within us that, has this fight or flight mode and has this hunger and this thirst. And it's told, go out here, your food is out here, and that'll make you feel full, and your drink is out here that will quench your thirst. And so it goes out into the world and it eats, and it's hungry moments later because it ate American Chinese food. It eats, and an hour later it's hungry. It's like, I'm still hungry. And then it drinks something. It drinks a big soda, and so it's even thirstier. So the more it eats, the hungrier it gets, and the more it drinks, the thirstier it gets, because these things in the outside world are not what we're truly hungering for. We're hungering for the love of who we are. But out here is unstable, temporary, unfulfilling love. And so eventually it becomes this hungry, like lion in the jungle. I call it a hangry lion, a hungry, angry lion, roaring in the jungle out of desperation because it's so hungry and so thirsty. And then our higher self, this powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being made of unconditional love, it's a part of us. And so it knows, it senses it and goes, okay, now's the time. It's so hungry. It's ready for this change, right? So it comes down and it gives it what it's been wanting for all along, which is the unconditional love of who we are, the unconditional love essence of who the Creator is. So it comes down and embraces the lion and hugs it and gives it all that love. And then the hangry lion stops roaring, starts purring, turns into this beautiful little cute lion cub and sits in the lap of our higher self, feeling loved and whole and complete, and its thirst is quenched, its hunger is fulfilled, and it just falls asleep in that comforting place, knowing that. And then you walk together in this beautiful journey together. And so this shadow card showing up for you is showing you this message, and it also is showing you, what those things and those beliefs that cage you are, those things that you've been told on the outside world, those expectations, those should be, those need to be, those have to be, those supposed to be's, all those things that are supposed to fulfill you that disappoint you are the cage, and that's allowing you to go, oh, and the door is open. You can see here the door is wide open. We're just sitting in it because we've been told in the cage is where you're going to get your food and your water. All right. Then you have the Page of Coins. So coins are the outside world. It's like the pentacles, is what it's also called in some other decks. And this is about the outside world. Pages are messengers. And so just know that, during this next year, you're going to be getting messages from your higher self, from the outside world, coming, from the outside in. So be looking for signs, be looking for miracles and synchronicities and messages for all your questions and for all your pursuits. It's like, yes, look for them because they're constantly getting messages from your soul. It also, the page is like, for me, it's like younger children and individuals, and they, it takes us back to that place when we were young, before we had all those expectations and that cage around us. We felt like the world was full of possibilities. You could ask a little, 2-year-old, what do you want to be when you grow up? And they're like, I want to be an astronaut. I want to be a doctor. I want to be, I don't know, a clown. I want to be an alien. It's like, they're like, okay, there's all these possibilities in life, until we start getting all that praise and punishment and all those, people popping all the dreams and going, nope, this is who you need to be. Here's the cage, get in it, And this is that feeling that you have, which is perfect right after here, is when you go back to this freedom that outside of the cage, you feel like there's so many possibilities, and where you felt life had to happen in this little thing, you start expanding, and there's so many possibilities, and you'll see answers to questions that you've had, or solutions to problems that you see in your life where you didn't see them before, because now you're free and you're open, and you're like this green, you're in these green pastures where there's this calmness and this beauty, and there's this shade where you can rest, and just listen to these new messages, and these new solutions and these new opportunities that are coming your way. Yeah, because you've got the Two of Coins. So you have the Page of Coins, and now you have the Two of Coins, which is, for me, whenever there's a two, it's always the spiritual meaning underneath it, about this balance of life between the lower self and the higher self. And you've got this beautiful, balance that comes. And so this awareness, and I feel like you're doing a lot of inner work through here. And this is like telling you that, yes, it does make its way to the outside world. And you do see that there's an importance of, especially with the shadow card here, that it's not just all about the heavenly abundance and the being outside of this world. You came here for a purpose, on purpose, to experience all these things. And with that shadow, appearing here with that devil card, it's like, yes, I am a part of you. So this is like a reaffirmation, of that. And you can even, it's funny, these two orbs are appearing above the card when you have this other card in front of it. So you've got 2 and 2. It's like, yes, we are walking this together. And you do feel abundant because you finally are full, like that lion. You're not hangry anymore. You're this happy little cub, excited about life, and you don't feel like you're so hungry that it's dangerous to be around you. Just this woman, I was listening to some videos yesterday, and one of them was talking about, you don't have to worry about usually a lion who's just ate. They're not going to attack you unless you come across as a threat to them, right? If a lion's hungry, then everyone's at risk. But when your lion is full, then you are very peaceful, and they think, oh, what a cute little cub, and people want to be around you, right? When you're a hungry lion, people are running from you. All right, but I love this. Definitely, it's about this connection and this wonderful awareness of your higher self and your lower self, and that you came here for a purpose, on purpose, and everything that you're experiencing through your shadow, you came here to specifically experience as well. All right, and I'm probably going to need to do a little bit of arranging here just to make room for your next group of cards here, which are the Wisdom of the Avalon Oracle. And we're just going to see what else the Creator wants you to know about this next coming year. And one more time. All right, Creator, what else do you want our little sun babies to know about this next year of their life? Whoa, okay. This is the one that turned over, so we will take that one. Yep, and you got the Water Fairy. And it's feelings and emotions, and this is the guides of fairy. So definitely this will be the message about your feelings and your emotions over this next year. And that's card number 28, which does break down to a 10, which is endings, and then a 1, which is new beginnings. So that's beautiful. It says, when the water fairy swims up to you with her liquid magic, she reminds you that emotions and feelings may be running the show. She asks you to consider how you really feel about things. and why. She also reminds you that you are not your feelings. You are the one experiencing them, right? So definitely the one feeling the feelings and going through the feelings is your shadow self, but the one experiencing them is your higher self. And remember that as water flows, emotions change. The water fairy also tells you that it's time to lose your rigidity. Be fluid and willing at times to compromise and allow change to happen. Change. Allow change to happen. You haven't heard that yet. If you're happy right now, enjoy, for the water fairy swirls her love around you. If things are making you sad, she comes to wash away your tears. The water fairy knows the power of emotions, so when she appears, be mindful of them and how they affect you. Remember, feelings are the fuel for manifesting. Be certain that you want to create what you're feeling, and allow your feelings to pass through and focus on the positive. The water fairy longs to smile at you in reflection. Cute. I love that. So yeah, definitely, you had this changing of mind, and now you have that also changes emotions. And the emotions in the mind have so many, they're so distinctly connected. I love, and her name is Dr. Jill. I always forget her last name. I don't know why, but it's Dr. Jill. She has this book called Whole Brain Living, and she mentions in it, we're emotional beings who think, not thinking beings who feel. So, it's like we feel emotions, and then our brain creates stories and rules around it. Like, I want to feel that way again, so we're going to create things to feel more that way again. Or I don't like the way that feels, I'm going to create ways to avoid that. And so there's this, beautiful relationship between the mind and the heart. And this is both about that, because you have the card about changing your mind, and this is how it's about changing your emotions. So love it. And then we're going to pull more cards here from the Tarot of Dreams. Clarification on these changing emotions. What else do you want our little sun babies to know? Oh, those two. Okay. So your first card is Temperance. Yep. So this is all about balance and that huge heart. And so Temperance is, of course, about patience and balancing. And makes so much sense, definitely of, dealing with, that this is Libra. You definitely love the balance. You love this give and take. And they usually, it does have, but you've got your, the higher and the lower. So you've got your water and your fire, your spiritual energy and your emotional energy of the earth. So you have this two going on here as well, with the balancing of the heaven and the earth, the balancing of your lower self and your higher self. Yeah. And then you have Knight of Cups. So cups are your emotions. Knights are all about the movement into the emotions. So you definitely have this change that's happening. And again, with this change, this whole theme of change of things, which is good. You don't want to be the same place you are now a year from now, right? You might feel like you are, but you have gone another floor up. You've walked another flight of stairs. But this is definitely this movement and this change in your emotions. Yeah. And you've got the Four of Coins, which is the Four of Pentacles. And so this does have some stability in your external world. But for me, this card also has to do with your worth and your feelings of worth in your life. And I love that because, this whole change of mindset, this whole deeper connection with your higher self over this next year really has you have your worth based on your inner self and not on the outer self. Outside is retail price. What you're worth to other people, that's retail. I love the example that they gave me once, which is, you're this very, very warm coat, and in the north of Alaska during winter, you are priceless to them almost. When you're in summer in southern Texas as a coat, you're on the blue light special clearance rack at 90% off, So that is fluctuating and unstable. But when you find this beautiful love and connection inside, you realize just how priceless and what a treasure you are inside. And I really feel like this emotional change throughout next year just gives you this more confidence and this beautiful, just solid feeling. Like when I was talking about that strength card with the lion, you just feel safe and secure and whole, and your thirst quenched, sitting in the lap of your higher self. So I love that. And I just feel like I'm supposed to do this. So we're going to bring it all down now, because we're going to pull one final card here from the Spirit Junkie and just see what the final message the Creator has for you, just for your overall next rotation around the sun. Creator, what's your final message for our Libra Sun babies, please? For this reading for the next year. Okay. You get 2. So you have, when I lead from a place of love, people respect me. Yep. So definitely love, love, love. Lead your life. And when you lead your life with love for yourself, you respect yourself, right? I am in sync with the flow of life. Yep. So definitely going with the flow, like we talked about with that pleasure card. Being able to sit in the moment, take a deep breath, and feel the feels, what you're going through right now. And then, with the change of mindset, you can understand, I don't like feeling what I'm feeling, and I don't want to feel this way anymore. It's like, okay, well, embrace it, feel it, understand what triggers it. Your shadow side will show you what expectations are keeping you caged in it. And then you can release yourself and step out of that cage and have that beautiful, free-flowing love, love, love. So I am extremely happy for this reading for you for the next year, and I hope you are too. Just know that as you go through each and every second of every day, that you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things, and I love you too. You have a very happy birthday whenever it happens over this next month. And just know that I will be in touch with you very soon, I am sure. So have a very, very happy birthday, and you take care.